stream is live,
Ah!
but they can't see.
I'm like, the pressure is on.
Yo, check, check. All right, all right. Are you sure?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Born
That'll work.
ready. Let's do this.
Yeah. So now we're officially live.
Oh my gosh.
But when people listen to this, we won't be live.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'll be like at home and you'll be at home or you'll be at work
Yeah,
or
I
something.
probably will. Or I'll probably be watching this as they're watching it because I want to watch it.
You'll be like, I watched myself like 4 times already. So welcome everyone to Verbally Harassed Podcast. Anyone that's enjoying this on YouTube, welcome to the live stream.
Yep, welcome.
Anyone that's listening to this on SoundCloud and or iTunes, if you decide to double header it, thank you for listening. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. And my guest today, we're gonna change it up on you guys. So usually have a bunch of friends that I've known for ages. I think I've known you for what, like 2 years?
Yeah, I'm technically a friend too.
Yes, you are a friend, but I'm talking about like years. I'm trying to like gather those years.
Yeah,
on top,
yeah,
you know?
you're right.
So I've known you for 2 years and met you at E3.
Yes.
You're working
Yeah,
with
I was.
Nintendo.
Yeah, and I saw you last year too. Or was it this year?
It's this year.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wait, so
quickly.
it was no.
Yeah, because it was June,
last
right?
year Nintendo?
Because it was last year Nintendo.
Then it was last year. Damn, I've known you for a year then. Over a year.
Since 2016. Well, technically it's gonna be 2018. So
Yeah. So, welcome to the podcast,
Yay.
Wendy. How do I say your last name? Probably
Alcala.
Alcala.
There's an accent. Well, there's supposed to be an
Accent
accent on the last A. Yeah.
Ah, so it's Alcala
Yeah, Alcala.
with the
Yeah.
at the end.
Or you could say it Americanized. Alcala.
So this whole time I've been saying it American.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, Wendy Alcala.
Yeah, but a lot of people have their own way of saying my last name. I've heard all over the board, but yeah, it's Wendy Alcala. Alcala. Or you could say Wendy Alcala.
Alcohol. That's what I know that gets come close to that. So the most interesting about this episode is that you are officially the first female on my podcast.
Feels so special.
It's a special thing. You know, I've had all males, which is nothing wrong with it. Decided to spin it.
Yeah, it's a different perspective that you're getting on.
Yeah,
the
now I got to
podcast.
really watch things I say. You know,
Why?
If it's
Don't.
just derogatory as far as
Bring it on. Bring it on.
like, I'm actually a man with nice long
I know,
hair.
exactly. Plot twist.
Oh, so tell us a little bit about you. You know, tell the viewers and our listeners who is Wendy.
Who is Wendy? That's such a big question. I'm still discovering that
I mean, that's
as
a good
we
way to look
speak.
at it.
No, but I guess the gist about me, what everybody does know, is that I model, I act. I am starting to be, I guess, a social media influencer. I do YouTube. I'm very into like the beauty community. And as well as, of course, the modeling and acting. I think that was my first thing that kind of got me somewhat recognized, and then I started going into beauty, which is what I really like.
Now,
So yeah.
I think the most interesting about like meeting you,
Mm-hmm.
like meeting you at E3 is like, we were just having a regular conversation,
Yeah.
you know, we're talking about like Nintendo and just like, you know, life. And then I remember you're like, oh, you know, hit me up on social media. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'll add you, you know, let me get your social media. And I remember going on your page and
Yeah.
seeing you had like thousands and thousands of followers. Turns out you're a model. I'm just like, wait, what? Like, I'm over here thinking that you're just, you know, just a
Like a
regular
normal
girl
person.
that's, you know, that's just working. I mean, you're
Yeah.
still a normal girl
Mm-hmm.
or woman, excuse
Yeah.
me. So it's kind of like it was like a smack in the face, like, hey, like this is who you were talking to. This person
Yeah.
is known around. You know, they have people that watch things that you've done as far as YouTube.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, I was doing some research on you because, like I said, I know absolutely nothing about modeling. I don't even think podcasts have ever had models or anything on their
Really?
things
Yeah,
that I could that I know.
I don't
of.
really know of any either. But it's an interesting thing. I think the entertainment industry is very fascinating even to me, because obviously I don't know everything that has to do with it, but as long as I have been doing it, I mean, like you probably have seen, I have been in the entertainment industry or trying to break through it since I was, oh my God, so young. The first booking I got was when I was 11 years old. And ever since then, I kind of was completely obsessed with it. And I've just been, I don't know life without it. So if I've always heard that, like, what's your backup plan? Because being in a Hispanic household, going into modeling or acting is not looked up upon, you know? You're just like, what are you doing? That's not a secure job. And my dad, if anything, was more like, no, you have to get education. So, and I've always been a smart cookie. So, I was going to find a good medium with him. And I was like, okay, well, I'll go to school. And I ended up going to school. I graduated. And after I graduated, I'm like, okay, well, now I want to really pursue it and just what I really love to do.
You graduated UCLA with a bachelor's.
Yes, a
What
double
was it?
bachelor's. I got a bachelor's in psychology and I got one in linguistics.
What is linguistics?
So it's the study of language.
Aha.
Yeah, and I was at the time learning French. So the counselor had then suggested, well, if you don't want to have like a language as a major, then you could just study linguistics. So I said, why not? And I tried it, and it was the toughest thing. Linguistics is so hard. It's so hard. It's like learning a foreign language, just because you're learning like IPA, which is like a form of, like a generalized form of language for all languages, like how you would read it. In IPA, you could understand any type of language and stuff like that. So it was very difficult, but I got through it fine.
You should have told the class, like, I don't know if you know this, but phones are able to translate when I'm talking. And I know. Just show the person.
I know, I've seen that.
And it's fine. They even have, I think, a Google Lens or type of thing where you could actually put your camera towards a sign in a different language and it'll translate it for you.
I've seen that on Google Translate. You can actually get like books and stuff like that, and it translate. I mean, it's not perfect, but it does a really good job at it. Yeah. And then I guess Google too. I think it's Google that's developing, don't quote me on it, that's like they're putting like an earpiece, and it translates daytime, like what people are saying right away. It translates what they're saying as they're hearing it.
Technology.
So, wow, that's like,
if you're not with it,
pretty cool.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, it's gonna end up taking up all our jobs anyways. No matter how we see it.
I know, come up with your own job.
Luckily, I'm in the technology business, so I kind of got my foot in the door. But who knows what could happen? And we're kind of going with it. Now, the funny thing about when I was trying to like research, you know, I kind of wanted to get more of a background of you, so I wasn't kind of going into this blind.
Okay.
So. And I mentioned this to my buddy earlier, that if someone were to look at my search history right now and see that I looked up Justin Bieber,
you're so
boyfriend,
funny. Yeah,
I was laughing because, like, okay, I watched these videos with no sound because I was like, I don't want to hear them. Right, so I looked up that. There was another one that you did for like some other guy. I don't remember his name.
Was it? I did a couple,
It
but
was
I
one
guess
where you're
one
like
of.
in a club. You're
Oh,
getting your.
that's an Armenian singer, I guess. His name is Karim.
We have it right here. It's
Yeah.
his Karin Baksian.
Yeah.
The song's called "Up in the Club."
Yes.
There's
Oh
only
my
one Up in the
god.
Club that I know, and that's Fitty.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah.
And then Travis Porter featuring Tyga, "Down Low,"
Yes.
which I actually listened to that one because I was like, okay, that was like 2011 when it came out, so the style was very like southernish, but the
Oh, that's
lyrics,
funny. I've never heard that. That's like southernish.
well, because it reminds me of like Ludacris and all that
Oh
stuff,
yeah.
but the lyrics were killing me. I was like, this is a song. Oh my god, like they're talking about titties dangling and like all this other stuff. I'm like, this is what people were listening
Yeah,
to.
but mind you, I was definitely, and that's one thing that
You were
when I
close.
go, when I'm in music videos, I'm definitely like, okay, there's like a limit. I will not cross it. Believe me, they've tried asking me to, go and shake my ass and do all those things. And by all means, the girls that do that, I'll give them mad props because I feel like I could not, like, I would get so embarrassed. Like, I just couldn't.
Well, yours was like it was just simple. It was like, I feel like if it was just you and something like if it was a picture, it'd be very artistic.
Yeah.
Because it was just you on a swing.
Well, when they asked me about it, and it was an audition process for that one, the Travis Porter with Tyga, and they were kind of telling me the premise of the video, which was that these women, they are like art pieces in a museum, and so Travis Porter, they're coming in and they're kind of checking out the art. And
I kind of got that feel.
yeah, so then I was the first piece as they're coming in, and I was like on a swing, which is the toughest thing to film, to be honest, because I was on that swing maybe 2 hours, and the whole time we were rolling I had to keep my eyes open, and at the time I had contacts, so my eyes were drying up and burning so bad. I was like, oh my god, and they had a fog machine.
Oh, even worse.
Oh my god, it was like torture. My eyes were like bloodshot red by the time we finished that shot, but it was interesting. I liked it, how artistic it was for at least my scene. Yeah, so I didn't have a problem.
Were you like on set all day when it came down to doing music videos?
It depends for the music video. Like the Justin Bieber, I wasn't featured in it as much. But I was there all day from
What role
start
did
to
you
finish.
play? Were you there in the intro of it where he's necking down girls?
No, I was in it, the car scene where he's like, it's supposed to be like this party, and then there's like all these
Looks like
cars,
a rooftop
and
or like a
yeah,
parking
it was
lot.
at a parking lot, and I was one of, like, I guess his posse of like dancers, and we're just like supposed to be having a good time as he's like serenading, his girl or whatever.
The funniest thing about that is, I mean, I'm not a fan.
Justin
I'm not
Bieber.
a believer, whatever they call them. But he looks so tiny in such a big car. In the video, I was watching.
He's actually very tiny. But I will say, out of all the celebrities I've ever worked with, Justin Bieber was the most nicest and humble. Every shoot I've ever been, unless you are like a featured role in that video, they really don't acknowledge you. So if, for example, you're an extra, they don't even acknowledge you. They're just doing their job, and you'd be surprised if you even, like, they even look your way. But for Justin, we were there, and he came personally, one by one, shook everybody's hand, and was like, thank you so much for being a part of this, and kind of introduced himself to every single person.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that was very commendable of him. And he was very chill, very nice. He is very tiny. He is like, I want to say 5'7". He's really tiny, and he's really skinny. So, yeah, he's just a very tiny person.
I think he possibly bulked up now. But
maybe.
I don't follow him, so I don't know. And if he ever hears this, which I highly doubt, you've gained 5 points of respect for talking to every single person.
No, he really does. He's very sweet. And for it being such a chaotic shoot, that was also the most chaotic because it was in an open space. And normally for music videos, they want everything to be super private. Like for us that were, like, we were in the video, they made sure to take our phones. They make sure to, like, that we won't talk about even being there. Yeah, it was just kind of all silence. And they were trying really hard to stay away from paparazzi, and paparazzi were finding their way to take pictures. They were getting on like the opposite rooftops to take pictures. Some were getting on helicopters. Other paparazzi were paying people in their apartments that could see down at the parking lot structure, were paying them to get into their apartments to start taking pictures.
Oh, fuck.
And then they had these huge like boards that they were trying to block. And it was at the time where he was still kind of new with Selena Gomez, so they were like the hot topic, so everybody wanted to see them, and she ended up showing up on set, so that even created more chaos. And I remember for some time, Justin Bieber, hopefully he doesn't listen to this because he's probably gonna hate me, but like but he was like, I remember us having to wait like a good hour on set waiting for him, because him and Selena Gomez had gone into like their G-Wagon or Range Rover for like an hour, and we were just waiting for them to get out.
And we're just staring at the
and we were
like,
just waiting like, what
on.
is going on? Like, we need to continue. And that's why that was the longest music video I've ever worked on, because it went from, I would say maybe 8 in the morning till like close to like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. It was all day.
I did one of those where there was a band. Well, I think they're still around now. They're called Bullet for My Valentine. Like a
oh my
band.
gosh, I love them.
Yeah, they were doing a video in like a warehouse in Terminal Island, and I got the invitation for it. I don't know.
Oh, that's so cool.
Don't remember. It was years ago. Me and one of my buddies, I was like, hey, I didn't have my car at the time. I was like, do you like Bullet for My Valentine? She's like, oh, I love him. I was like, I have a spot open, me and someone else that could be in their music video. And I was like, you drive, you could go with me. She goes, all right. So we went there in the morning. They brought us breakfast. You know, we were pretty much in the crowd while they were playing their show, and then we're
that's
just
so cool.
So they used like a good amount of us. I was in the front, like almost to the front, like 2 people back. So I was like trying to do certain things so I know I could like pinpoint myself out. And then
that's smart.
So I was there from like you said, you'd be there from 8 in the morning to like 10 at night.
Yeah.
Turns out they didn't even use the crowd.
They
all that
totally
time.
did not use any of that footage.
Nothing.
Oh my gosh.
None of it. I was like so mad. I was like, you know what? I'm done with this band. And I stopped listening
You're
to
like,
that
I'm
band.
never going to listen to them ever again.
I mean, sure, I'll still listen to their EP because I like their EP, but
That's funny. Yeah, that happens a lot. There was like, even on the shoot, there was a lot that I was like on camera.
Did they feed
and
you
then
guys?
they did, and it's always craft services. You get, if you're like a featured person on it, then you get the good food first.
You get the lobster.
Yeah, but then if you're like an extra, because I've done extra work. I've done a lot of extra work for different like shows, music videos, and stuff like that. And they literally treat you like kettle. Like, you're just like, you're the last one to eat. You're the last one to get seen. You're the last one to, so.
What if it was just like,
different.
here's a bag and it's like a poor boy sandwich. It's just like bread, cheese, maybe a slab of meat, and a packet of mayonnaise. That's all you get as an extra.
I mean, there's been times where you'd be surprised if you even get a bag of chips.
Ooh.
Because it's normally it goes away. But you know what? At the end of the day,
They
it's
keep
like,
it cheap. You get the Lay's
no,
original.
we really do. As an extra, you definitely do. That's why extra work isn't fun. I mean, at the beginning, I would do it just so that you can get your union. Because as an actor, you do get paid more if you're like part of SAG and AFTRA. And in order back then, now it's different, but back then you had to get vouchers. And a lot of the times, like, actors would just go on extra sets just so that they can get a voucher. And then if you accumulate a certain amount of vouchers, then you are like union eligible, and then pay your dues, and then you become part of the union.
Yeah, one of my buddies, I think he was paying to be those like agents or whatever for it. And he was on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, nice.
He was there's an episode where they're trying to buy guns, and they go to like a gun like shop.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of people buying guns, and I think they start like threatening the salesman, and all of a sudden everyone pulls guns on it's on Dennis. You watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
So it's Dennis and Dee, the brother sister. So everyone points their gun at him, and my buddy's actually right in the front. He has long hair, sunglasses. My buddy Andrew Soto.
Yeah.
He's actually gonna be on the podcast one day. We're gonna schedule something. But yeah, so he's like holding the gun sideways. He has like these shades on. But he's like right in the front, and then Dennis is walking away, and he's like holding it to like Dennis' time. Like,
wow, and they have him?
Yeah, the whole time he was on
that's
there.
Cool.
And I remember watching it, I'm like, the fuck, I know this guy. And that's when he ended up posting about it, and I was like, oh dude, that's so cool.
Yeah,
that one of my favorite
cool.
shows, and you're on it. So I don't know.
That'd be fun to hear. I'd be excited to listen to his, and perspective on that.
Yeah, he's like I would talk about that with him, but I think our thing when we do talk is we're nostalgic gamers,
Oh,
so
so you
we're
guys
all
like
about Nintendo and all that
yes,
stuff. He's probably one of the best guitarists that I know. So
really
he
nice.
shreds. He's great. Um, so back to the music video thing. Compared to that and the modeling, which one would you prefer more? Like I mean, I understand there's a
Yeah,
process to the music
yeah.
video shoot, but what about like a photo shoot, like modeling? Would you say that's a little bit easier to do compared to like a music video, or which one has like less stress?
I think it all depends on, I guess, the type of shoot versus like the video shoot, because now that I'm kind of in a place where I can organize my own shoots and I have creative control over it, it's a lot more exciting and fun for me versus when I go, like currently, I have a contract with 504 Dimes, and that is literally my favorite magazine to shoot for, just because they allow me to have creative control.
Mm-hmm.
But they fly me out to New Orleans, and then we kind of shoot for like tribute issues, where like the whole issue is just, like getting to know one model at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like doing that, and the process is easy because I don't really have much to do, just show up on set. I could pick some outfits, or they have pre-prepared outfits, and then I just shoot in them. But it is pretty exhausting. I'm not gonna lie. Like we shoot, I would say 6 hours, and I am dead by the time.
6 hours of just pictures.
Yeah,
and
of just
adjusting
pictures,
yourself?
and then changing, and then more pictures, and then change. And then a lot of the times, it's hard to just keep like face to be like happy or like sexy when you're just like so over it and you're just tired and you just want to eat. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to do that, and so I would say it's different. It's very different. But the thing that I enjoy doing most is being like acting stuff, just because acting is something that I love to do above it all, above modeling, above anything else. And I guess the recent acting thing ish that I was in was the domestic violence PSA that I did, and that was intense to do because as an actor, I do a lot of method acting where I have to put myself in a predicament to feel those emotions, because when it comes to acting in front of a camera, I don't think you can really bullshit the camera, and or even if you try to bullshit, you could tell like, oh my God, that's not real acting. So I really had to get into a space for that because there was a lot of just like crying and yelling in that commercial. So I had to get into a zone where I just had to be sad. And I'm such a happy person, so it's kind of hard to get there. Yeah, and yeah, it was really hard. And the thing as an actor that I find really hard is snapping out of it. Yeah. Because after we were done shooting, I was still very in that dark place, very sad, and that's hard. But I really do like doing that because I'm normally not one to like show a lot of emotion on a daily. Like I'm not. I don't like being sad in front of people or any of that stuff. So I feel like acting is my outlet.
I mean, it's always nice to do, just because like I wish I could get into it. Like I wish I would have gotten into it when I was like younger, but I got into music, so I went the opposite way. And I was like trying to keep it serious, but when you said about like when you could tell when someone's a bad actor or something like that, for some reason, right off my head, just being stupid, I'm like, oh yeah, like those Cinemax late night movies, because those actors are terrible. Or even like certain porns. But
yeah, no,
I don't know anything about those.
No, but no, I honestly, I watch those, and to see the acting, and it's so bad.
It's like,
it's so bad.
Just take her to the corner, let her have it, and let's be done with this, because no one's paying $20 to see you talk. Shut up, get to it.
Get to it. I don't need to see you act.
Get to it. Fast forward, money shot, and there, I'm good. Thank you.
And done.
20 seconds is what I needed. Thank you. Out of that 30-minute conversation.
Oh my God. Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you.
Well, I was gonna tell you. So as far as like the domestic thing.
Yeah.
Now, when you're as far as method acting, is this something that you actually experienced though, so where you had like kind of dig deep, or is it like you had to hear people's stories in front of you?
Well,
And if you don't want to talk about
no,
that, you
no,
don't
no,
have
of
to talk
course.
about
I
that.
like talking about that because it's a topic that I'm very passionate about, and I think it needs more awareness,
Oh, it does.
especially in a female perspective, because in this day and age, a lot of females are afraid to talk about it, or they don't like talking about it because it's such a, I guess, dehumanizing experience to go through, and it's like a sign of weakness to a lot of people to have gone through that. And for me, I do like researching my roles. I didn't have to dig it that far deep for it, but I did watch videos, and they do upset me because I am such a strong person, whether it be in a relationship or anything like that, and I don't like when men or women, because it could go both ways, feel some sort of superiority over the other person. I've had family members, I've had close friends who have dealt with it. I have dealt with it to even in a certain extent where I was in a very emotionally abusive relationship. So I was able to kind of tune in to those type of mediums and kind of put that into the role, and it helped me.
Yeah, because I was talking about it with my buddy Louie on Saturday when we did an episode. We started talking about the whole, like I was telling you earlier, about the whole Weinstein thing, which I don't know too much about it. I got kind of like bullet points on it, but when we talked about abuse, you know, like the physical abuse, the verbal, you know, the mental, and it's just for me growing up, you know, I've never saw my dad ever hit my mom. He never raised his voice at her, anything like that. So that's just kind of like my perspective of how relationships are. I know a lot of people, they see that, but it just kind of sucks that, like, as far as like males, we can't have that switch to be like, that's wrong. You know, why is that happening? Why is when he does this, this is how mom or, you know, whoever it is reacts to the situation. Like I said, I've never raised a hand any female. There's never a situation where it should happen like that. That's just me personally saying that. I know people might think else, like just something else where it's like, what if the woman's swinging on you? You're gonna tell me as a man you can't grab her arms and just hold her, but like, hey, you know, like relax, calm the situation down.
And it's kind of hard in that situation just because
there's all that
when you're upset and mad, I think more or less the subconscious takes over and you're just really not thinking clearly. And I won't say 100% of abusers or people who do that have a bad like upbringing, but a lot of them, majority of them have an example, either a parent or a family member or friends, or they've had some sort of contact with that. So that's kind of what has brought them up as a child. So that becomes second nature. That becomes okay. So when a situation arises where the girl or the guy does something that they feel is threatening to them in some sort of way, the first thing that comes to their mind is, okay, well, what has been my example? And they go straight to it. So,
because I've seen videos of like they've done like experiments where you know the male and the female are walking. The male is like verbally abusing her and then grabs the girl, and people intervene because you know the whole the masculine just being more dominant. Not saying that, you know, men are more dominant than women, because I'm pretty sure Ronda Rousey kicked my ass. But it's to the point where I'm not trying to be sexist about it. It's just more of like men are kind of more dominant because just physique. You know, like physically, you know, we're always working harder to be stronger, to be, you know, taller and bigger than all the other men. So when you see that happen, of course you're gonna want to jump and help her out. And then 100%. They flip the video where it's the female doing it to the male, smacking him on the head and all that, and everyone's just watching like, okay,
what did he do?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like
I've seen that video.
It's like, oh, he deserves it. Let him have it. But then if it was the male, like, no, she doesn't deserve it. It's like,
I know it's a big double standard. It is a big double standard. And I will say about the whole, I guess, dominance and guys are stronger. I do feel like, even though I'm very pro women, but I do feel like men are built a lot stronger, and a lot of them do work on their physique. but you're not everybody's dating a Ronda Rousey, you know. If every woman was Ronda Rousey, then I'd be like, okay, then it's equal, you know. If anything, she may be stronger.
Oh
But
yeah.
some women are very small built. They're very tiny. They're very they're not as strong as her. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like, okay, you're obviously a lot bigger. You obviously can, you know, overpower her. Then it's not fair, you know. But I do feel like sometimes women can also um feel like they can take on a man and they start fighting them, because I have been in situations where I've seen it personally,
Hmm.
and the girl kind of feels like, well, she could take advantage of the fact that guys can't touch her, so she gets violent, she goes crazy on them, and I don't feel like that's fair either.
The thing that kills me the most is when it comes down to, like, I mean, physically, it's terrible, no matter what it is.
Yeah,
Whether it's just
100%.
grabbing them by the arm, the forearm, that's already
Hmm.
abuse. To actually hitting them, but when it gets down to more like the verbal parts of it, and it's just kind of interesting that my podcast is called Verbally Harassed, and it has nothing to do with that. I swear, it's just when I thought of the name, it was on a whim. I
Yeah,
kind of went with it. It was just more
yeah,
of like if someone's just kind of talking my ear off, like you're verbally
yeah,
abusing my ear.
yeah.
So that's why I went with the name. So if anyone
You're like
questions and thinks,
disclaimer.
yeah, if you think that I'm like a lady hater or anything
Yeah,
like that, I'm not. I'm all about equality,
yeah,
and it is what it is type of
yeah.
ordeals. But so yeah, back to the thing. But like for me, it's more like the verbal when it starts to abuse their mentality of how they think of themselves. I know
Mhm,
they call it self esteem, where it's your own self esteem, but
mhm.
at the same time, people could have that impact on you that'll totally just drop it, and it's like you'll look at yourself and be like what the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just it kind of sucks that that is the world we live in. Some people
Mhm.
just don't understand right from wrong. Some people, like, the brain is so complex, but we don't understand it fully. Like the whole thing with the shooting that just happened in
Oh
Vegas.
my
Just
gosh.
people in general, we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what we're gonna think. Our dreams are so like sporadic to the point where sometimes we can't even remember what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't remember my dreams at all. I don't even care. It happens. It happens.
And
But
you forget
yeah.
them as soon as you wake up.
But it's just when like I said, when I was researching on your website, learning more about you, and I saw that, and that's when I was telling you that I saw the Super Bowl ad.
Mm,
Or if anyone hasn't seen it, you look up the domestic, what is it, violence PSA
mhm,
for Super Bowl 2015, and I watched that video and it hit me. I'm just like,
mhm,
holy crap, because the girl was ordering the pizza, quote
mhm.
unquote, but she wasn't. She was trying to tell the cops that she was in danger, which was
Mm,
so interesting. And I was
yeah.
just like, fuck, like it's real. There's no
Yeah.
there's no brushing it to the side. Like this is something that's been happening for the longest, and it's happening to like this day.
I feel like it will continue because it's something that a lot of people keep quiet about.
Hmm.
Not not many talk about it, and some people don't even know that they're in it. You know, some people think it's normal. That the
Oh,
guy
he loves
yells at
me.
you, controls you,
Hmm.
tries to dictate what it is that you wear, you say, you do. It's that sense of control, but I honestly feel like a lot of the times girls can feel brainwashed without even knowing, and them feeling, well, they love me that much, or they're just obsessed with me and they find that to be enduring or exciting, and it's really not. It's a cycle of intimate terrorism. That's what it is. And it's really,
It's a good way to put it.
yeah, and because that's exactly what it is. It's a constant cycle, and I will guarantee that at least everybody knows at least one person who's gone through something like that. And it's a touchy subject, of course, for a lot of people, and for me especially, because I've been surrounded by a lot of people who are currently, have gone, or have been affected by something like that. So when I signed up to do that, I was 100% on board.
Mm.
100% on board to do and bring awareness to something that doesn't get much hype. And especially now that, like you mentioned, Harvey Weinstein, like, it's so crazy that now it's going on,
Hmm.
because I've been hearing about him for years, years. I mean, this has gone back to the 90s where he has been doing things like that, but he's constantly been one to threaten lawsuits, to many people, to the victims, to not speak up.
Use that power.
Yeah, he had power. He had a
Mhm.
lot of power. Thankfully now, not so much. And I feel like because his power has been going down, that is why women have started to feel comfortable enough or a little bit more free to speak up about it.
Mhm.
And big names have been speaking up about it. And it's crazy because people have kind of acted like this is, oh my God, it's such a revelation. I'm not even in the industry as much as the victims or the people who have been in it. And I have my fair share of stuff like that because the industry is full of men like that
Mhm.
who try to take advantage of girls, women, anybody who's trying to get into the industry. And their first kind of inkling is to be like, well, sleep with me or show me something or, you know, make a pass or just go to dinner. I've had many, many instances where people have done that to me and I've felt very uncomfortable. But honestly, I am 100% for my own mental health to not get fucked up in the process of trying to make it big because I
Mhm.
know my talent is good enough on its own that I don't need to go through those resources to get ahead.
You don't need shortcuts.
No, I don't. And that's really shameful because a lot of high power people do it. And it's crazy that not a lot of people have already called out a lot more people in the industry, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's not just him.
Mhm.
It really isn't. And it's hopefully this is a start to bringing awareness to it because it has been going on for years, decades.
That's the one thing that's crazy is that when a person does have like power, it starts to
Mm-hmm.
show their true intentions. Like even if you're just a manager at a job, you
Yeah.
know, like the way you kind of talk to everyone below you kind of shows like your true colors as
Yeah, it
far as what
does.
you do. Like I used to manage at a GameStop,
Mm.
and everybody wanted to work with me because it was to the point where I told them I don't care what you do, do what you got to do. If you want to be on your phones and stuff, this is the list. Get this done. I could care
Yeah.
less. As long as the
Yeah.
list is done, I get good feedback. You get good feedback. We keep going on with our days. And that was being a manager. And then just popping from job to job and just seeing how different managers are, you start to see those ones where like they get that power, and it's all
Mm.
like, no, you're gonna do this and this and this. And one of my managers, I've had the conversation with them saying, look, there's a difference between a boss and a leader. You go boss people around, that's no problem.
Yeah.
You're gonna totally lose everybody's respect. But if you're gonna lead them, you're gonna lead a team, and you guys are gonna lead each other to success. So like like I said, I heard briefly about what he was doing. I think I skimmed it on Facebook, something like that, because I just saw, I think it was like Gwyneth Paltrow and someone
Yeah, it
else.
was big name Gwyneth Paltrow, Kate Beckinsale, Angelina Jolie. They've all kind of been targeted
And
by
it's just
him and
insane.
yeah, it's so crazy that it's such a high like there I would consider those actresses high power in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. So it's crazy that it took them this long to speak up and I just think it just shows that a lot of women even in the industry aren't taken serious if they were to speak up because I know I did back then. I saw a video that Courtney Love actually mentioned him. Like I think it was a video of an interviewer interviewing her and saying like, oh, if there's anybody in the industry you wouldn't want to party or you wouldn't want to do something with, and she's just like, the one thing, I might get sued for this, but I would never, or I would tell anybody to never go to a Harvey Weinstein party, an after party. And she mentioned it, and that was back in 2005, I believe. So
Damn.
the fact that it's been like out in everybody's face and it just died there,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was because at the time he was such a powerful person. I mean, he still has the power, maybe not now that everything has came out about, but then he still had so much power that he was able to silence a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Money
and
talks.
yeah, money talks, and when you have big shot lawyers, they can silence anybody, you know?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's just insane that I I I always wonder all the time, like, why can't the world just understand each other? Why can't
Mm-hmm.
there just be more of like a positive like mentality for no matter what a situation
Yeah.
is? And I was actually talking to my nephew about this recently. Like, it just seemed very negative. And I
Mm-hmm.
told him, I was like, it's okay to be negative. I go, but you got to look at the positive out of stuff. And out of
Yeah.
that, the positiveness out of that is showing that, you know what, this guy's a piece of shit. You know, this is what he's been doing. So now there should be repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, chop off his dick or something. I don't care. I mean, Game of Thrones does it.
I know.
You watch Game of Thrones?
I have. I'm
That's
way behind.
totally
like,
off topic. I'll just say we'll talk about that later. I was like, that's
But,
totally off topic.
yeah.
But I mean, they do it in Game of Thrones. Or they cut their dicks off. But I mean, I know it's a show, but he could be the first one we could experiment with.
That would be interesting.
Put it on
I'd
TV.
actually like
we'll blow
that.
it off. Get like a mini guillotine. Just.
Oh my.
Excuse me, sir. I'm at to put your wood in the wood, and there's a blade right there. Go in and hit that lever when you're ready.
So many people would pay good money to watch that.
On pay-per-view, $50. Watch a man get his woody chopped off by another woody with a blade on it.
Yeah, that's interesting to put it in perspective. But I guess the good thing is that now it's finally getting to a place where I guess the first step is bringing awareness to it. And hopefully now there's going to be change.
Is that something that you fear as you go with because I mean, no matter what, you're slowly itching yourself into the industry, regardless if you've done
slowly but surely.
Yeah, it's like you've already done commercials. Which another commercial I was looking for with you, and it was something about Anderson Silva.
Yes.
But which one was it though?
So
was it the earthquake one?
Yes, it was the earthquake one.
Mm-hmm. But what were you? I tried to watch it, but then I was watching it on terrible internet at work.
So it's one where I'm with somebody where he's like. The scene that I was in 2 scenes with him. I don't know what made it, what didn't, just because I never got to watch the commercial.
You never watch your stuff?
No, I never watch myself because I hate watching myself back. It's so weird.
But you're going to watch this, though?
I will. I'll probably listen to it.
Oh,
maybe.
No, YouTube, iTunes,
I know. I just don't like watching myself back. But when we were filming it, there was 2 scenes I was in. The earthquake one where I'm in front of a house and he's walking front where he like stomps on the ground and then it shakes and everybody has to like fall down. So I was in that one. And then also when I was with the girl she had a stroller and we were walking down the street and then he hits a car.
I have to rewatch it now.
And then because her car alarm was going off and he ends up like hitting the car and then it stops. The car alarm stops or something like that. But I do know that it was for, I guess, his UFC fight that was coming up and stuff like that.
Did you actually like get to
meet him? Yes, but the thing is, he just mainly speaks Portuguese, so it was kind of hard. He did. Yeah, that time he did. So it was kind of hard to talk. We just had like mini conversations, like hi, like how are you? Good. Are you having fun? Yeah, like stuff like that. Like very, very simple stuff. And then he'd have I think it was like his assistant or translator or somebody like that with him constantly on set, just because, it was kind of.
I've met him twice.
Yeah.
At my store.
He came to your GameStop?
No. Since I fix phones right now.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he came in with his wife and his 2 kids. Actually, all his kids. I think he has 3 or 4. I might be wrong, but 2 of his sons, I actually redid their entire phones.
Really?
This was during when like 5s barely came out and 4S's.
Oh, okay.
So it was years ago. And I remember his sons coming in like, yeah, we have these 4S's, but we want to make it look all chrome. I was like, yeah, sure. We'll silver chrome it out or whatever, make it shine. And I remember we ordered all the parts and then they ended up coming back and I was like working on it and they're just watching me. Like, wow, like that's so cool. You can see everything. I was like, oh yeah, I'm working on it. And I started talking. So this is actually right after he broke his leg during his fight.
Okay, I remember about that.
I forgot who he was fighting, but he broke his leg, and then I made a joke about it. Because I think one of his son's screen was broken, and I was like, "Oh man!" I was like, "You kicked him so hard, your leg broke, and you broke your son's phone or something like that." Just like something random. He started laughing, but he came in on crutches and took a picture with him, very down to earth, because he has, I believe, a gym in Torrance that he trains at. I could be wrong, but this is just what I remember. But that's why when I was looking at the commercials you did and I saw that, I was like, oh man, Anderson Silva, like he's such a cool guy. It's interesting. The other one I was looking at too was what was it, the university, the Arizona
University of Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Is that the religious one?
I don't think so. I mean, I personally in the commercial I was acting like I actually went to that university,
Mm-hmm.
but I've never been to that university, so I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
At least the commercial, the premise of it wasn't like religious. It was just like on a bus, like contemplating or going to school, and then the rest of was just other scenes because my scene was very short. So I don't know the rest because I didn't watch. Again, I don't watch it, so I never got to see it.
I was saying now, why is it that you don't watch your own stuff?
I don't know. It's weird. I don't watch myself back just because I'm very critical of myself. So I can go back and find like 10 things I could have fixed or done or, said differently or all this kind of stuff. And so to not be critical, I'm like, you know what? What's done is done. There's no point in me watching it. And just because just like how people feel about hearing their own voice, that's how I feel about watching my own stuff.
Oh, like, I've been told a bunch of times, like isn't it weird to like see yourself like on YouTube and to hear yourself? I was like, when I first started doing it, because like I'm still not a fan of my voice at all. That goes from like I write music and if I sing or anything like that, I can't stand. So when I started going over and reviewing my stuff, came to the point where I was like, I have to do it. Like I just have to, like, no matter what, if I said something that when I re-listen to it, I was like, why the hell did I say that?
Yeah, that happens. That happens.
Little things
We're
like
human.
that. Yeah. So I got kind of adapted to it. So that means you need to adapt yourself to it. Just go back, go rewatch your YouTube videos, which that's another thing I looked at is your YouTube videos, your vlogs, your makeup ones. And the one thing that was tripping me out is you have one, I think it was like a getting ready for prom 2015.
Oh, yeah.
But there's like 11,000 views.
No, right now it's at 50,000.
50.
Yeah,
no, 11,000 is you were showing off your room.
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, but who the fuck would want to watch a video about someone's room? If I did my room, it would be like, so this is the bed. That's my TV. That's my computer where all my gaming happens. Yeah. And then there's my dog. We're good. Let's call it.
You know what's so funny is that a lot of people, that's what I thought about my room, just because I'm in my room. I'm just like, there's nothing exciting about it. But a lot of people are asking me, they're like, can you do a room tour? And I'm like, my room is so boring.
MTV
but then
Cribs room edition.
Yeah, I was just like, this is so boring. And the craziest thing is I've heard that, ask people who know you what they would be interested in seeing or what's interesting about you. And a lot of my friends were like, your room is so interesting because it's so organized. It's so perfect. It's like a store. And I'm like, people really want to watch that. And they're like, well, my friends, every time they come over, they're always looking through all my stuff. They love going through my clothes. They love going through my shoes, my accessories, everything. And so it just kind of made me think, okay, well, if my friends like seeing that, maybe my viewers would like seeing that. So I put that up, and then it went really well. And I feel like the ones that do really well are like, the get ready with me, and then like my room tour or what's in my bag, which is another one. I'm like, who would be interested in seeing what's in my purse?
They're waiting to see if you have like hot sauce or something just chilling in there.
Hot sauce.
Like, that's just a dirty rag from when I was sick 2 weeks ago. Let me throw that away.
I know, right? But it's like it's interesting. Like it's
I'll say
fun
well, thanks to you, I actually will consider to look at the store overstock.com.
Oh yeah,
because I thought it was I thought it was bullshit. And
really?
Then I was watching your video of your room. You're like, so I got this on Overstock, and I got this.
A lot of my stuff from
Overstock. You were saying, I don't know how I remember all this stuff. I can't remember what happened yesterday.
You're such a journalist. I love it.
One day. But you were talking about that, and then, I don't know if you said Crate and Barrel. I might be tripping on that one. Pottery Barn. I love Pottery Barn, but it's so expensive. I love Pottery Barn for like Halloween stuff, which I haven't. I go every year right before Halloween, just because I like the skulls.
decor. Yeah, I love them. I know that's why you have one right here, and I was obsessing over it. But the thing is, I go to Pottery Barn for like the little knickknacks like that, but it's really expensive. I mean, like a candle could be $30. Like one of my skeleton candles was like $30, and I would never spend that on a damn candle, but it was so beautiful that I just had to. And then everything else I'm pretty good with. Like, okay, I'm gonna be pretty affordable with it, and I go to like Home Goods or Marshalls or Overstock, because Overstock is pretty good too with their pricing. Is so
Once
cheap.
Again, I actually trust them now, so I'll be considering it because of that. Once you said that, I was just like, okay, I guess they're legit.
The thing is, I'm such an online shopper. I love shopping online.
I'm a hands-on person.
I love shopping online. My friends make fun of me because everything is online. Like they say, "Where'd you get this?" Online. Where'd you get this? Online. Everything is online. Like I am such an antisocial person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just don't like going to the mall. I don't remember the last time I went to the mall. I don't like going and being around so many people and then trying on things because most of the time I don't even leave with anything
Mm-hmm.
just because I'm so picky. But when I order online, I could just search so many websites, so many stores in like a matter of like an hour, but realistically I'm on there like almost all day. And I'm just kind of looking at everything and then it just comes to my house. So it's so easy.
Oh, the
So easy.
convenience of technology. Once again, technology
Yes.
is there. Like
So easy.
the internet.
So easy.
And if you ever think about it, I was actually talking to some guy about this. I was at a brewery on Saturday,
Yeah.
and I was talking to him about because he just came from traveling, and
Nice.
he would have all these pictures with him and stuff like that. And I was telling him, I was like, you ever think about if you're sitting in a room with a bunch of people on their phones and stuff like that? Like, do you ever wonder that what they're doing is kind of floating in the air? Every time you're pushing a button or you're searching something on your phone, it's signals that are being sent from your phone to satellites to wherever and coming back. Like right now, there could be people outside or in another room that are doing things, and it's like circling around us.
I didn't even
all
consider
within
it
the
like
cloud.
that,
That's
yeah.
stoner mentality.
That
It's
is
just when you just gotta like start.
that
Because
is
I've
pretty
noticed I've been
cool.
doing that a lot to where I start to like not dissect the world, but more of like have like a type of third eye, just kind of analyze things more.
Yeah, that's me on a daily. I'm constantly analyzing everything.
Like just even if something's made, like where was it made? How many people did it take? How much thread or
Like,
anything like that?
Or how did it come about? How did the idea foster in somebody's head? Or was it an accident? Or how it just, I can go on in deep thought and just think about so many different things. But I think that's interesting in the cloud. Now I'm going to be thinking about that.
Just the
When
cloud. The
I know
cloud
the
is up
cloud.
there. Like when you buy storage from iTunes, there's a reason why they have that storage because they want to have everything in their clouds that we cannot see.
Yeah,
Are you gonna get the new iPhone,
100%.
the X?
I'm such a junkie. Like I don't really like buying a lot of like materialistic things, but one thing I love buying and splurging on is electronics. And I'm gonna buy the new Mac desktop computer because it's all black color. And then I'm also gonna get the iPhone X, or is it 10?
X or 10?
I mean,
tomato, whatever the hell you want.
I know. So I know I want to
I
get
like
that
X
one too.
because it sounds more just like punch in the face. iPhone
X.
So to me, it's just like it stands out more.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm kind of excited for a lot of people. Like, why are you gonna do that for? I'm like,
yeah.
because I want the 256 gig. I want the highest one.
Wow.
That $1,200 one that's gonna take me 30 months to pay off.
Yeah, for sure.
But it doesn't matter as long as I get it. So let's go a little bit back more. I want to talk more about your modeling stuff because it's what you do.
Yes.
It's what you're known for.
Yeah.
All the everything else is just little knickknacks. Now, put us in the brain of Wendy Alcala.
Alcala.
Did I say it right this time?
Yeah.
Somehow I'm close.
You get it.
I guess my full Hispanicness isn't working today.
You could just say Alcala.
So Alcala. So
the intonation in that.
Yeah. So what goes through your head like when you're actually doing stuff like that? Like, do you ever feel like when you're taking a picture, you're kind of like why did I do this certain pose? If you see the picture again, it's like you're constantly judging yourself. Like
all the time. It's so crazy how like now, I don't really consider myself like, oh, I have such a big social media following. Like you said when you first met me, I'm like normal. Like I really am. I don't, whether I have 5 followers or 5 million followers, I'm just gonna be me.
You'll hit 5
like
million.
It doesn't.
And I'll say 200.
And then I'll shout you actually get 220.
Ooh, 221, girl. Ooh. Actually, no, 219. You putting me too high.
But yeah, like it doesn't matter to me. It's just I don't build social media up so much. I mean, that's just like a small portion of my life. But like you were saying, going back to like the photos and stuff, I'm the most critical person I can be on myself. And yeah, of course, there's like poses where I'm just like, what the hell was I thinking? But I think that's part of being a model. You have to experiment. You have to do crazy poses, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And a lot of times I am insecure, where more than anybody that could ever follow me and talk shit, because there's a lot of haters, and I've gotten my fair share of them on my social media.
Oh, I bet.
That they point out something and they're just like, oh this, oh that, and I'm just like, what's new? I've found that flaw out like the day I was born, I've just, it's not nothing new to me. But I am extremely critical and insecure as a person, which anybody can be, even if I do put myself out there the way that I do. But it's a process, and not a lot of people understand, but me putting myself out there is also like empowering for me, just because I was so shy and to put myself out there in that way. And now I'm doing a lot more glamour shots where I'm in, lingerie or bikini and things like that. And you would have asked me like 18, 19-year olds that I was going to be doing stuff like this, I would have been like, you are lying, just because I was very insecure. And when I was starting off modeling at 18, I had a really bad experience with a photographer who kind of pressured me and made me feel really uncomfortable and kind of pushed me to do lingerie then. And it was so scarring on me that I was like, I am never going to be a model ever. I remember emailing him one time, like, can you not put those pictures up online? I'm very like ashamed of them, and I'm very like insecure about them. And believe me, like, now that I look back at those pictures, and I looked really good, but I was just I was not ready to put myself out there that way. And
it's too soon.
Yeah, it was way too soon. And he went ahead and still posted, I think, one or two of the photos. And I felt so unimportant. Like I didn't matter. And he just wanted photos up there. And it was just a very traumatizing experience, just because I was by myself. And I would say anybody starting off in modeling, bring somebody with you, because you will endure those photographers that will push your limits. And then I was never very vocal on what made me uncomfortable. So I would just go along with it because I was just thankful for the opportunity. But it did make me feel very uncomfortable, especially being like, I think one of the most uncomfortable things where he was known for shooting in his backyard in these like very pretty plants. And he picked the outfits. I couldn't even approve of them, but he put me in this see-through one-piece lingerie. Oh my God, like I was dying on the inside because I felt violated. Legit felt violated, because my like nipples were showing, and I was just so uncomfortable. Now at my age, I'm 25, and I still don't feel comfortable like showing nipple or like any of that kind of stuff. That's just not me. I'm not comfortable enough. So at that age, at 18, right when I had turned 18, he put me in a predicament like that, and I was so uncomfortable, so uncomfortable. I left the shoot crying. I went home, I cried, and when I saw those pictures and he posted them, I cried even more. I thought my life was over. It felt like my sex tape had gone out or something. Like, it felt that invasive. And I don't even know if the photos are still out there or not, but I did remember asking him to take them down, and at the time he didn't. I don't know if he has now, but it was such a like demeaning experience that I just told myself I'm never gonna show myself too much and blah blah blah. And I became very introverted when it came to shoots, and I didn't really want to shoot with a lot of people. I didn't want to show skin. So I think now that I'm starting to again, it's like I'm grasping myself again, and my comfortability again. Now I choose who I shoot with, or I choose what I show, and I'm comfortable. So I feel like it's such a growth in where I was then to what I am now. And now I'm finding empowerment in it versus vulnerability.
Well, yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's just pretty much like, I guess, with kids and, like potty training them and stuff like that. Like, you could force it on them, but the best results is to let them grow into it and let them do what just they have to do. Because I remember seeing that with, I remember seeing it with my nieces. My sister, and at her first, potty training. I think she was very stubborn about it. So she was kind of doing it when she wanted to do it.
Yeah,
that's how she grew.
That's my nephew right now.
So I mean, I know they're two entirely different subjects,
but it can relate.
But it's like you said, the whole growing thing. But now you feel that you're comfortable with it. And you do you. Whatever you got to do, you do it. Yeah. And especially now with like I feel like the entertainment is all about kind of
100%.
music, whatever it is. I mean, it was back in the days too, but it seems like nowadays it's just more of a common thing that you will see.
There's a lot more exposure, a lot more people showing themselves a lot more than they would back then. So it's now become normalized. So it is very driven in that sense, 100%.
Yeah, that's why, like, for me, like I said, when we're talking about, was it Travis Parker and Tyga?
Travis Porter, yeah.
Yeah, Parker. Travis,
yeah, that's a drummer.
Oh, that's Travis Barker.
Yeah.
And then Parker, there's nobody.
Yeah.
So to me, it was just kind of like, oh my God, I completely lost. Oh yeah, so like I was saying with the music, like as a musician, I hear that and I'm just like, really? Like, this is kind of what people listen to? I mean, I know I listened to bad stuff when I was growing up. You know, I was into, like, the Snoop and all that stuff, you know, when they were doing Ain't No Fun.
Oh, yeah.
But I think what it is now is with all the technology and access to things that we have, it makes things a little bit more harder to be covered up as far as, like, what people see.
Yeah, because
what's
everybody's
popular.
Pretty exposed.
Yeah. And it seems like it's just getting, like, I don't want to say it's worse. Because, you know, it is an art form to some people. Because one of my buddies, well, actually, I have a lot of photographer buddies. One of them, he does a lot of, like, nudity pictures, but he uses certain lights, like certain, like, cool. You know, sun and stuff, because he's very fascinated with, like, the body anatomy.
Yeah.
Like, the curves and the bone
especially
structures. Women's
bodies are beautiful. They're beautiful. So I see how people are creating it into like an art form, and I commend them for that. Yes.
So like when he does stuff like that, I always see it and I'm like, okay, you know, what kind of story is he trying to tell with this? My buddy Carlos, I was just on Saturday. He's starting to get more into that, where to him, it's not really like posing somebody. He's more of like capturing the naturalness of the picture. So, I mean, he has done, you know, have someone like stand a certain way in certain areas, but I just think there has to be a certain taste to it. It can't just be just disgusting and, you know, like you're doing this just because you're trying to be a pervert about it. It's just more to the fact of, you know, being like kind of artsy about it. But then a lot of times some people won't see it like that. But like for me, I feel like that dude, while you're 18, he knew exactly what he was doing. He's like, 100%. Okay, here, you need the ticket. Well, here's your ticket, but the only way to get the ticket is you're going to do this. And back to the whole Weinstein thing, where it's like that power of like you want to make it. It's so
bizarre, and it's crazy because I thought it would be okay just because I saw the people he was shooting for. And I don't know, because you're not really in the modeling industry, but a lot of like people who are into social media, they know of like Jessica Borsiaga. They know of Daphne Joy, and those two models shot with him at the time. So I thought like, and those girls had thousands of followers. They were like big. So the fact that he reached out to me and wanted to shoot me, I was like honored. So I felt a sense like, okay, well then it can't be that bad. They shot with him. And it was like, not like one shot, two shots. They've constantly previously like have shot with him. He shot like magazine covers and stuff. So I thought, okay, maybe that would be a great exposure, but it's also safe. But I did realize that he was such a creep. And after that, I heard a lot of models after that had said that he tried making advances. Like he would tell them like, oh, in order to get certain pics, like they'd have to like go down on him and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God. And I thought my experience was horrific.
Yeah.
And just hearing like the other girls like talk about it, I'm like, oh my God, why is this guy still doing this stuff? Like, why is he still shooting people? Why? And there are guys who don't do it for the creativity or the art of it. They do it to be creeps.
Yeah.
Do it to get advanced because they know that they'll see women in lingerie or swimsuit and they'll take full advantage of it, which is sad.
Yeah.
You know?
How often would you say, now that, you know, you're popular, social media popular, you're like I said, you're getting there. How often would you say you do counter people like that? I'm pretty sure it's all men. You know, we're dogs, some of us. But like
I feel like I have
it's like one a day, like vitamins.
That would be a nice day if I just had one a day.
Oh my God, it's
no,
more.
I get an influx of dick pics, dick videos, I've had some people where they're legit like having sex and they're sending it to me. Like I don't, and the thing is because for example, like Snapchat, I open up my Snapchat to allow people to talk because I like having conversation with my followers. I like getting to know the people who follow me, asking how they're doing, if they're having a bad day, I like helping them through it. Like I want to feel like I'm connected to the people who are following me. So I open myself up to allow them to reach out. But of course you're going to get the ones who take advantage of that. And I don't know what guys get out of that. Do they think that I'm going to reply and be like, oh, amazing picture, I'm so turned on? Like, I don't understand. I don't know why they do it, or if it's just for themselves. Like, I don't know. But just know, if any of the guys are watching this and they send me dick pics, my friends are the ones who see it because they love going through my Snapchat and just opening them up.
So the funniest thing here, I got something for you. So let's just say, you're hanging out, your friends, having a few drinks. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, some guy just sent me a picture of his dick. You reply to him with a picture of a shrimp. That's all you gotta send him.
I love that.
Either that or find a picture of someone holding their pinky up like this, like pinky sword.
Yeah.
Send him that. See where it goes.
Like, I like your millimeter Peter.
Ooh. Like, oh, that's not a prong, man. That's a shrimp. It's like it's already been peeled.
Oh my gosh. I should do that. I
can still smell the fishiness from the screen.
And I, you know what? I've actually thought about like putting them on blast, like screenshotting it and putting it for all my followers to see but I'm like, oh, okay, I can't get that.
No, yeah, because then it becomes karma.
I know. But you know what? I think it comes with the territory. Mm-hmm. Because I get that no matter what, and especially if I'm like showing pictures, like I get it. I do show pictures where I'm like in lingerie or swimsuit, and I don't know, guys just feel comfortable enough to be like, oh, maybe she's down. Obviously, I'm not, but if that's their outlet, go for it. Like, freedom of speech, freedom of sending whatever
was it right to bear shrimp?
To bear shrimp. You do got the right.
That's just one thing that me and my buddies always said. Like, oh, we used to say that back in the days, like with girls, oh, you got a shrimp. So that's what I'm saying. If you really want to like attack them in a funny way where it's not bad,
where it's not malicious,
just be like, how'd you know I like seafood? And then put a picture of a shrimp. That's all you gotta say. Don't ever reply again. And you're probably gonna drop their ego down a few times.
Oh, 100%.
Or they're gonna be like, well, I'm a grower, not a shower. They're gonna try to retaliate with something. That's what you fucking block them.
And it's so crazy because there is some, and it's what's bizarre to me is when the men, when I get hate from women. I get that because jealousy. But when guys start being malicious and then they say shit like, oh, you look fat, or oh, you look or that's fake, or oh, this, like, I'm like, dude, you're a dude, why are you talking shit to a girl? Yeah. Like, what? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Like, you're a guy, like, what are you doing? Like, do they think that I'm just gonna be like, oh, start talking to them because that's how I'll talk to them? Absolutely not. And I've noticed that when I'm mean to them, or I say something like, there are some on Snapchat that I do talk to a lot, but when I get an influx of replies, I don't get a chance to go back to their reply and reply quickly. So then they get upset. They're just like, okay, fine, just ignore me then, blah, blah, blah.
You posted one of those up a long time ago.
A long time ago I did, because one of them said, well, you probably just reply to get attention from people or something like that. And I'm just like, it's moronic. So bizarre, because I could just close up my Snapchat and just leave it at that. And at the point I really wanted to, because I was so upset. But then that made me realize, like, why am I getting so upset? For one, like, it doesn't even make sense. And a lot of time it's not even about me, it's about them. And maybe he was just feeling rejected by a lot of women, and it didn't help that he felt rejected by me at the moment. So
really just dug in there.
Yeah,
and let him have it.
And it's so crazy because when you bring something up, or you just say like, oh, my bad, I should have, replied or something like that, they come and then they try retaliating. So I know if I do say like, oh, the shrimp or whatever, that would be actually funny because I've never sent a picture like that. But I have sent something like, do you get something out of this, or something like along those terms. And then they reply by attacking me and how I look, or, it's like, right, and you were just sending me your dick 2 seconds ago, and now you're talking shit about how I look. Obviously, that didn't bother you. So I just really, I don't get it. I don't understand why they do that. But They do. Guys can be even more mean.
I say, or you could always say, thank you for defining the with thank you for defining the word shrimp with a picture. You guys do
With
that.
the
I don't know.
picture.
You guys think of something
Yeah.
probably be better than
Be
that.
funny. Yeah.
What about women? Have women ever sent you anything that is like, "Hi, I'm all for women." So, because I mean, dick pics, those are
Yeah.
common thing.
Like women showing,
Yeah, have you
like
ever had
making a
any?
pass at me?
Yeah.
I mean, there has been women that made a pass at me. The difference between men and women is that I think the bi or lesbian chicks who have tried hitting on me, they're never one to show off their goods. You know, they're more of like the flattery. They're like, I think you're really hot, and I'd love to get to know you and stuff like that. But they're never one to be like, oh, look at my punani or look at my tits or something like that. They're never
Look
one
what you
to.
do to me. You make them hard.
No, they're never one. That would be hilarious to witness, but no, I have never seen that. And it's so crazy because there have been some of my followers who legit think I'm lesbian. And it's only because I mainly post when I'm with my girlfriends or like my friends, because now that I'm saying girlfriends, they're probably gonna like, oh, that's validation, she is gay.
It's confirmed.
It's confirmed. No, but I'm not. I really am.
I mean, there's nothing wrong
Strictly
with lesbians.
dickily. I know. I have
Nothing
one
wrong.
of my best friends is a lesbian, and I freaking love her.
Nothing wrong with gays.
No, there really isn't.
No hate.
There really isn't, and but I'm not. It's just the thing is that I just don't show that side. Like I'm never. If I ever have a boyfriend, I'm dating somebody, I don't post them on my social media. That's like a separate. That's like my real life, actually, and I keep that very private. But a lot of the times that makes the guys that I'm dating very insecure because they take it personal if I don't post them online. They take it like, oh, you're ashamed of me, or you don't want to put me out there for everybody to see. And
You just lost like 30,000 followers.
yeah, and a lot, and they think that too. They're like, oh, is it because you feel like your male following will, drop or whatever?
Yes.
And it probably will.
It
but
will.
I never really put it in that perspective. My perspective is, if I ever post a guy, which I'm not saying I'm never going to, but the guy that I do post about is somebody that I know I'm going to be with for a long time. One thing I would hate to do is post about a guy and then we break up. And then I'm just kind of like, well, I have people asking about him. I have people like, well, what happened to this guy? I just don't want to hear it. Like in real life, if they're dropped and I'm not dating them anymore, I want them to be dropped and not dating them anymore. Like there's nothing out there that I even dated them, And if I expose them or I put them out there, it's because they're going to be around for a very long time. And for me, I don't know, like I'm not a relationship person. Relationships just don't function for me. And I don't know, like,
do you feel it's because like kind of where you're at in your life and your career that you're trying to build up?
I think it's that, and because I've grown up being very career oriented, I'm 100%, my career is number one. And it's kind of hard for a guy to feel like they're in the back seat of that, just because I do so many things and I don't have the liberty to see them all day, every day. And they kind of take it personal and they feel like, well, maybe she's just not interested in me, or they feel intimidated that I'm making more than them, or things like that, and that gets in the way. Ego gets in the way.
Nothing wrong with a sugar mama. Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly, but a lot of the guys that I feel like I have dated take it very personal, and it never works out because of that.
If I could be a stay-at-home dog dad, I would love that.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't
It's
mind.
like, what are you complaining about? You don't have to work. She's making money.
Exactly. But you know what? I don't mind being the earner in the relationship, but guys have a problem with it, even if they say they don't. Because a lot of the times I'm very straightforward when I'm dating somebody. Yeah, when I'm in a relationship or I'm gonna start and I start dating somebody, I'm very straightforward. Like, hey, this is what I do. This is what's gonna happen. I'm very straightforward. I don't like relationships where you present yourself one way and then you totally change as the relationship goes by. And a lot of the guys that I have dated present themselves to be like total catch when I meet them. They're like total package. But as soon as I'm starting to date them, it's like, well, you lied about that. Well,
Total
no,
shrimp.
you're not really like that. Yeah, exactly. And I'm just kind of like, well, it doesn't make sense. And then it doesn't really work out. And I obviously don't have the best like choice in men, so it never really works out. And because I see a pattern in that, and I think the longest relationship I've ever been in is maybe 4 months.
Holy shit.
4 months. It never really lasts, and that is the main reason why I don't post them online. Why? Like, it makes me look like an idiot for dating somebody for like 3-4 months, and then they're just not in my social media anymore, and I delete all their pictures. Like, it looks retarded.
Oh, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from.
So that's why I don't post it. And when I try to explain that to the guys that I date, they don't get that. They just take it personal, like, well, it's because you're ashamed of me, you think I'm ugly, or I'm not good enough, or you just don't want to show me off to your followers and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like, it's not really that. If I saw that me and him were dating for a very long time, then I wouldn't mind that. And I'm starting to now expose my life a little bit more, just because I always tell my friends this, like, if you're following me, you don't really get to see my life. You only see, like I was telling you earlier, like 10% of my life, because I only post a certain part that I want people to see and like want them to get to know, that's safe enough that I don't feel like people are really attacking me or antagonizing me as a person. They're just whatever I put out there, it's like not even that big of a deal. Excuse me. But I pretty much show just a part of my life, and now I'm just a little bit with like the vlogs, for example. I'm like kind of showing my personality a bit and who I am little by little, but I'm not to the point where, yeah, I'm showing who I'm dating or what I'm doing on a daily and stuff like that. That's kind of difficult, because then that is opening myself up to criticism and criticizing who I really am as a person, not like what I'm presenting to the world.
You got when you were doing the modeling and stuff like that. We'll back off the boyfriend thing. All right, any guys listening, you already know you gotta not be shrimping, and you gotta be down to deal with all the situations that come with very well. You're successful. You're doing what you gotta do. Successful woman. So, as far as criticizing, did you get that a lot though? Like when you were starting, because I think I read about like you did have the struggles when it came to like people telling you're either too big or too small and stuff like that.
Well, the thing with this industry is, I don't want to put it bluntly, but bluntly, they really, when you're starting off, they really don't give a shit about you as a person. You're like a vessel to advertise, and you're a product. And when you're first presenting yourself, there's always going to be things that people are not going to like about you. And when I started off, I was very vulnerable. I was naive about the industry. So even at 11 years old, I was being told that I was to this, to that, to this. And I started dieting when I was, I want to say 13 years old. I started dieting.
Jesus.
Really? Yeah, just because I kept hearing that I was too thick or I was too big, and you know, I have gotten agencies where they were very blunt. You're too fat. You need to lose 10 pounds. And it really messed with my self-esteem. It really did, and it got me to a very dark place where I hated the industry. But I still kept at it because I loved it. At the same time, it's like a double-edged sword. And I was very critical on myself. I still am to this point, but I've come to a place of love, and I've realized that it's not me. It's not about me. What they're saying is not about me, and all to do with them and what they're looking for. And at the time, I wanted to kind of like assimilate to what they were looking for in order to book a job, where now I'm more like, this is what I am. This is who I am. I either fit the role that you're looking for or I don't. But that's it. And at the time, yeah, I was being told, and I look back at pictures of then, I was a twig. I was so skinny.
But mentally, you were putting yourself
but
in
I
that
I
boat.
felt like huge just because they kept telling me that. And like the first show that I ever did when I was, I want to say 16, 17, I was a host for this small TV show on channel 20. It was like KBBC, I think.
They're bringing it back.
I know, bringing it back. And I got casted as a host for like bands, new upcoming artists. and stuff like that. And so I would constantly be filming the episodes, having bands come on, just kind of interviewing them and stuff. And the producer himself, not to throw shade at him, but he was one of the ones that was very blunt about it and was like, you need to lose 10 pounds if we're going to keep having you pretty much on. And it hurt my ego so much. And at the time, I didn't even want to eat anything because I'm like, I don't want to lose this opportunity. I feel like I'm finally on TV. I don't want to mess this up. And again, I was very tiny then, very tiny. So I wish that I could talk to myself then and just tell that girl, it's okay. And if they're going to drop you, they're going to drop you. Because you shouldn't put your health, your mental health on the line just for a job.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then, as far as now, where you're at, as far as your modeling career, would you, is there anything that you're trying to do to kind of like, not preachy, but to be kind of like a role model to like the younger females that are trying to be in the same role, to have maybe the same body structure or anything like that? Like, do you see yourself, or do you try to implement yourself being a role model for the younger ones?
I mean, it's kind of hard not to be a role model when, even if you have 100 followers, you know, I'm sure there's going to be at least one girl of those hundreds that are going to be seeing you like, okay, I want to be like that. So it's kind of hard not to be a role model, because a part of me was like, when I first started, I was like, I don't want to be a role model because that puts too much pressure on me. And that is a lot of pressure, but at the end of the day, being a role model is just being authentically myself. People are going to like it, people are not going to like it. And I do try and, I would say, be like preachy, but not really preachy, but kind of show them the ropes. I have this girl that I met. She's now my friend, and I'm like her mentor in a sense. Her name is Paulina, and I'm sure she's gonna watch this because she loves everything that I do. And
yes,
I know, and she's kind of like, I call her my little mini me. I met her about 2 years ago, and she loves what I do and she wants to do that. And I kind of guide her through the process, and I kind of tell her about all the scams, all the bad stuff that go along with the industry, because I could literally write a novel of all the things that go wrong within the industry that people don't see. That people don't see. People just see the glamorous side of everything. And so I kind of teach her and tell her all about it so that she can be aware of it and she can learn from my mistakes so it's not as bad.
Yeah. I say it's on video and it's live.
Welcome.
So it's Tony in the back. Wait to everyone, Tony.
I know.
Wait to everybody.
I know.
Really? I was like, I go back there and you're like playing Xbox and chilling.
I'm about to take a nap here too.
I know she's getting all comfortable on the couch, about to fall asleep.
I know, very. I bought this couch. Very comfortable. It's very comfortable.
Yeah, I think I've almost crashed on that couch multiple times.
I'm about to crash on this couch.
Ricardo's
here.
Don't worry about it. I paid for this spot. I mean, we can wrap it up soon,
but I love it. I love it. He came in at a great time. We were getting deep.
Yeah, you should see we're talking about for
no,
anyone
it's
listening.
Okay. It's
yeah,
good. It's like lightening up the mood again.
Yeah, for anyone listening, this is a different location. I'm actually doing this. It was gonna be too late to do it from my house, so we're doing it at Tony's. And if you remember Tony, we used to do a little 8-bit of everything. And if you don't remember that podcast, then you're so mean. Yeah, you're not cool, pretty much. But yeah. So I completely forgot what we were talking about.
So we were talking about, I guess, the perceptions,
being a role model,
the role models and stuff of, I guess, being in the industry and being a model. But like I was saying, it's kind of hard not to be a role model when there is quite a few people that do follow you. So it's hard not to be a role model. But if there is something that I could help out somebody from not doing the mistakes that I did, I would love to kind of prevent
just
that
write
from
the
happening.
book. Just might as well just do it.
Write the book.
Yeah. So this is one thing I'm gonna ask you, Tony. So we were talking about earlier that she gets dick pics sent to her all the time. How would you retaliate? I told her to send him just a picture of a shrimp, or say thank you for defining the word shrimp with a picture. How would you retaliate?
Yeah. If you were
this guy makes me laugh. So
my god,
I'm always curious on what he has to say or do.
Yeah. The main act. Are you the warm up for the main act?
Oh, so this is the prelims. the prelimp.
That's actually funny. Oh, this should be illegal.
Yeah. So this is why I love Tony.
Yes, that was amazing.
He's got the great stuff.
Tony, I need you with me constantly to be able to freaking reply. That's
like,
hilarious.
Tony, look at this one. What do I say for this one, Tony?
Yeah. Just make it funny.
That's what I told her. I was
light.
like, you could say something, but make it like just mess around with it, like make it funny. And if they say something back, then you just say whatever, fuck it, like just block them off. But
it's kind of hard to block all of them. You get quite a few a day.
Yeah, I get quite a few a day.
Because I start.
Yeah, I get harassed constantly. Like, oh, aren't you on Verbally Harassed podcast? Let me verbally harass you with
you.
this dick.
With this dick.
Like, gross. Get away from me.
Oh my.
This just went from serious to comedy hour.
I know, I needed that. Oh my god.
It's like a penis sock. It's like,
oh my god.
But it's like, if you open your hand, this is it circumcised. But if you close your hand, that's the foreskin.
Stop.
All right, sorry. Yeah, women present, as you can tell, I'm used to men being in the podcast.
Is so funny.
So it's entirely different. But we can wrap this up because we're going at about an hour and a half. Which is pretty good.
Wow,
and it is getting late.
Funny.
You have a long drive home. I have a somewhat long drive home. I mean, I still gotta take that 7:10. You gotta take, I don't know where you gotta go, somewhere over there. So there were a few things I did want to talk about, but like I said, I would love to have you on again. We could talk about, like I said, I have bullet points of stuff like.
I'm so proud of you though for doing your research. When you told me you did your research, I was like, you did not, and you're just like, yeah.
Once again,
you showed me your notes.
First
I'm like,
person that I've ever done, because everyone else I already know them. So, one thing
you're just like, I can't believe you do it.
I mean, yeah, like,
I told him he's such a journalist. I love it. He did his research.
You hear that, Tony? Journalist. I'm moving up from podcaster to journalist. Because I did want to touch up. You were doing the thing in the Dominican Republic. You're feeding the kids. Even though the place you wanted to eat on your birthday burned down. So for anyone that wants to plug in, see your pictures, anything like that, you want to plug in, your website, anything like that. Where can they find you?
Shameless plug right now. Everything is under my name. That's the easiest way you can find me on Instagram, obviously. Then there's Twitter, Facebook, YouTube.
Jesus.
Everything.
You want to spell it out for the Alcalas?
Okay. WENDYALCALA.
Why do you have to say it like that? You should be like WENDY. I'm gonna start saying that. I'm gonna say so. Listen to Verbally Harassed podcast.
You're on Verbally Harassed podcast.
I'm just gonna record that. That's gonna be my intro.
Yeah, I have to do it without messing
I'm gonna
up.
use that as like my intro to be like,
hi, welcome.
And we're on. So all right, so you plugged. One last thing is there anything you want to tell anybody, like I said, that looks up to you, that wants to be a model? I know we just talked about it, but is there any advice that you could give any women that have the same career path as you after all your experience and stuff like that? We'll close it out with that.
Okay, so I would say find a way to love yourself before going and exposing yourself.
Ooh, that's great. That's it. Simple.
Yeah.
Simple,
Boom.
straight to the point.
Woo!
And just to let you know too, since you're an online shopper, one of my sponsors, DB Treats.
Treats. Ooh.
Dog Boy, so DB and Treats.
Oh my god, my mind went so dirty when you said a DB. I was like, what?
Dick big. That's the first thing
DB
came to mind.
she's been
I know. I need to stop.
But they've been the opposite. So they'd be SB, right?
SB.
Oh no,
SB.
it'd be DS. Dick Small.
Dick Small.
Just go swim.
Why is it so shribbly? Call it Shrimply Pipples.
Oh my god. Is there a breeze?
I thought it was the summertime. Why is it so cold in there?
No, I was literally about to say, is it because my name is Wendy?
Oh. I was gonna say, if you do decide you want to do some shopping, for anyone listening, even for you, if you're a fan of anime, Disney, Universal Studio stuff,
oh wow, nice,
Loungefly, purses and all that stuff, you can find DB Treats on eBay, Amazon, Jet.com, Walmart.com. They did have their own website, but it's in construction at the moment.
Okay.
So just remember DB Treats, and it's actually off D and B is actually my two nieces, Daniela
Really?
and Belle. Well, it's supposed to be Skylar Bell, but you know we call her Belle, so Daniela Bell Treats. So it works.
Go check them out.
Ooh, check them out.
Go check them out.
Promo
I know.
time.
DB Treats.
I'm gonna start working on a sexy voice.
Oh my gosh.
Check them out right now.
Hi, go check them out.
Oh, what is it?
Go check them
You
out.
check them out on the jack off hour.
You just have to go really low and just whisper.
I can't do it. Whatever. Anyways, we'll call it on that. Wendy, thank you so much again.
Thank you for
like
having
I said,
me.
if you're willing to come back again,
Yeah,
I'd love to have
course.
you. We'll talk more about some other stuff that I did research on.
Okay, awesome.
And besides that, best of luck for everything that you're doing.
you.
You're becoming a successful atoll.
Like that. Mato.
We're getting
Thank you.
snazzy with it now. All right, guys. Once again, thank you for watching on YouTube. If you're watching it live, you're watching it pre-recorded. I think I had some streaming issues, but everything went better. If you're listening on SoundCloud or on iTunes, thank you so much for listening. You already know you can hit that subscribe button. It is free. And if you get charged, it's not me, I swear to God. It's somebody else. I'm not charging anybody. All this is free. And this helps you get through your day at work, or you're just tired of hearing someone nag at you, then I did my job. That's all that matters. And like I said, first time having a woman, a model, threw me off my game. But it's all good.
You did
I think
good.
it went great. And yeah, I think we're good, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, guys. So see you in the next one. Peace.